Hi guys, welcome back to Miscellaneous Pleasures. Yeah, it's been a weird week for me, simply because I did not react for a good amount of time, like 4 5 days, and then I reacted to a couple of episodes and I did not react again. And the problem right now I'm facing is I have 4 videos that I have to edit and obviously publish on the channel. And I have basically created a tight schedule for myself for reacting. So, yeah, I have to somehow figure out a way to sort of clear my backlog. So, that's sort of the quick recap of the upload schedule and the issues like that. Anyways, doesn't really matter. The point being, what was I thinking? Yeah, so this video is Dark Season 1, Episode 6. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Anyways, so this is the reaction of Dark Season 1, Episode 6. Um, when did I watch Episode 5? I have no idea when I watched Episode 5, but what I do remember is Jonas and Mikkel. Yeah, that was something. Mikkel being Mikhail, a name drop that I had no idea about till the name dropped. And even then, I had like no clue that that was going to be Mikkel and a wordplay on his name. So that was interesting. And this basically, last episode basically blew every sort of theory or prediction I had out of the water because now we are playing on a different sort of playing field where my first set of predictions that I had made, and where what I don't even remember half of them because of the amount of things that has happened in the show. Like whatever I was talking about till that scene, in the first 5 episodes, they were from a point of view of a normal sort of TV show. Now I'm going to make predictions based on the fact that this show has the balls to do it, what they have done with Nikhil and Jonas. So bring it on. Bring it on. That's what I have to say. Specifically talking of the episode, we had Noah. Noah, a time traveler, potentially, not potentially, I think that's almost certain, considering the fact that we looked almost alike when he was talking to Mikkel and then when he was talking to Bartosz. Uh, the second thing I've written down in my diary is Psycho Hannah. And the fact that she basically told the police that Ulrich sort of raped. Is that the accusation that was put on him, or was it just underage sort of thing? I have no idea what it was. What it was basically an accusation that Hannah put out on Ulrich to the police, and then he got arrested in '86. But then the fact of the matter is, in 2019, all of these people are apparently friends or were friends before the whole cheating thing happened. So, how did that happen then? Like, does nobody know the truth, or is this a different timeline? Because that different timeline sort of theory that I had is, I don't know if it is true or not, because Mikkel traveling back hasn't changed the timeline. The fact is that was the timeline where it all happened, so it's sort of like a closed loop sort of thing. So yeah, that was obviously Psycho Hannah was the third thing. First being Mikkel, father, and Noah. Uh, yeah, obviously another thing that I did talk about was Elizabeth and Bartosz being safe. Like I obviously thought that Bartosz was going to be, yeah, bye bye Bartosz, we're not going to see you again in this TV series. But obviously that did not happen, and the same thing did not happen with Elizabeth. And so is Noah not a bad guy? Like, yeah, so this is kind of confusing for me now because all the sort of build up around him seemed to be the aiming at the fact that Noah is a bad guy. Even his music was such a like bad guy sort of music. I still remember it, and it is. I loved it when I heard it, but you know, so that was interesting. And yeah, I don't think there is anything else to specifically remember from that episode. At least that's what all I have written down. I don't even know what to expect from this episode in terms of, have we seen Bartosh's family enough? I feel like we have seen, I mean, we had a dedicated episode towards the Charlotte family, and obviously we have been focusing a lot on Jonas family and Nielsen family, the Ulrich one. Bartosz sort of has been on the background, hasn't he? Bartosz background, Regina background, the nuclear power plant guy background. They have all been sort of in the periphery of the story and not on the forefront. So maybe this is something that I could expect from this or any of the future episodes. So yeah, that's all enough for the talking. Actually, now that I say it, uh, I have actually began a podcast. The content here and there would predominantly be the same, apart from the odd instance. I have just created that for the sort of audience that doesn't really use YouTube all that much, who would probably prefer a content which is just audio so that they could do some other thing as well as listen to a podcast. So yeah, so I don't know when I will be putting that details out on the YouTube channel, but the name is Miscellaneous Pleasures, and that podcast will probably be available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, stuff like that. But yeah, I will be giving out the details for that within a week or so. So yeah, so that's one sort of development that has happened in the content sort of arena. Anyways, so that's all for the pre-talk nonsense. Let's get into the episode. Because I can't wait for it. Yeah, I just hope the audio and stuff are clear. Yeah, it seems perfect here. So I think, yeah, let's go. What? I don't know. The episode's title seems to be weird. Wait, who is this?
Es ist nicht mehr lustig.
Wait, this is Regina, right?
Katharina?
Katerina. They tied her up? Oh, wait, is this like a prank or something? Gone wrong? Like, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, tying up a person to a tree, I don't know if that's a good enough like reason as a prank. I mean, it's a bit too harsh. Like, especially considering the fact that Ulrich's brother has gone missing in this era, I don't know if this is such a good idea. Like, okay. So, was this a dream or was it something that happened to her and she had a nightmare about it? Okay, if this is the start, then I'm guessing this episode is going to be centered around this family, which is again very interesting. Wait, what? Oh shit! This guy is there in the photo. Oh my god. So, was this always there? Yeah, like this is going to be the question, right? Like, I mean, now Jonas knows about time travel and the fact that Mikkel is his father. Is he going to tell that to other people? Because I, for one, if I was a person who was going to listen to such a news, then I would be excited. Yeah, I mean, the whole relationship tree and whatever stuff like that, I mean, that's kind of, anyways, would be very confusing and difficult. But the whole idea will be interesting. But normal people, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about it. So, and people tend to keep those things secret. So, in TV shows, I mean, not in real life. Obviously, I don't know any time travelers. Mammography screening center. Oh, so oh wait, yeah, she has cancer, right? I completely forgot about that. Wait, oh no, I I did not even consider the fact that the kid. I completely forgot the kid. I forgot that the kid could be. Yeah, I don't know what to think anymore. Claudia, right? Yeah, this was mentioned in the third episode. Wait, what? Regina and Regina and Mads were a thing. Wait, so is she like, yeah, so she is like figuring out who the number is. The most frequently called number. And she obviously recognizes Hannah's voice. Like, this is kind of smart. Like, I did not see this thing coming, to be honest. Like, I thought that, usually in TV shows, what happens is you have your person who is suspecting their partner of, cheating or something like that. And they go, well, they just confront them sometimes. Sometimes what happens is they put a spy or something, like, or they themselves spy. But this sort of an idea where tracking phone numbers and stuff, yeah, that's not something that I saw coming. And she already knew, right? She already knew by the smell, the hair, and the way, just the way they behaved. So yeah, kind of figuring out by the evidence and stuff is cool. Like, why is there this weird energy between these two? Is that still because she would have known about it? Oh, so they were like, I don't know if they were a thing, but she definitely liked him. Yeah, there's this weird energy. Like, is this still because of the fact that they tied her up to the. Oh, wait. They tied her up before this whole thing. Okay, that's interesting. I thought that just happened after all those things. Wait, what? Dude! Oh, wait, is this the reason? Oh, this is. He just figured it out. Oh, this guy is just figuring it out. Wait. So, so the sequence of events was they tied her up to the tree, sort of like a prank sort of thing. Like, that's just weird. Like, that's just a proper bully sort of thing. And that sort of changes my impression on Ulrich as well as Katharina. And then Matt, his brother, who was apparently this nice guy who was, who never really talked bad about anyone, according to Regina, he went along with her so that, sort of like a support sort of thing. And that was when he got kidnapped, basically. And then this whole 1 month, 1.5 months passed, and Hannah basically saw these two having sex. When I say these two, I mean Ulrich and Katharina. Then goes and tells the police, and she tells that Resina was the person who complained about them because she apparently saw her on the station. And it kind of makes sense, that's sort of a lie because Egon was her grandfather. So, I mean, Psycho Hannah just got intelligent Hannah. I mean, wow, what a plan. And so what happened next between these people? Like surely if Ulrich and Katharina found out that Regina was the person who ratted them up from their perspective, like they would have done something about it, right? Like if they bullied her by tying her up to a tree, then what did they do for this? And is that why there is still this amount of fight and stuff between these two people? Even these two families effectively. Oh, Ulrich, please don't do something stupid like, this is bad.
Du warst der 86. Was willst du?
Oh, please don't say you. Please don't. Yeah, like, yeah, this is a very interesting character now for me. Like, Psycho Hannah is a thing now,
Das Gift
and
schmiegst dich an wie Honig, aber das ist nur Gift.
she's basically like
Ist dein Mann überhaupt so lang?
this sort of a criminal sort of mastermind.
Wenn er nicht mehr konnte.
Dude, you just spoke about your son, and wow, I just realized she has been sleeping with her
Ich dachte, ich kenn dich.
father-in-law, and he has been sleeping with his daughter-in-law. Brilliant. Oh, this is just lovely. The whole family tree is fucked up now.
Nun habt ihr sie gehört.
What are these two people doing like together? That's what I do not understand. See? Wait, what? 19 minutes for 9:17. That was pretty specific. Wait, what? Wait, is that the name of the episode? Sic Mundus Creatus Est.
Steht vor euch. Eines Königstochter.
Yeah, like doing a play like 4 or 5 days after your brother's disappearance is just. That sucks. And. Yeah. And yeah, in a way, like we never really saw her like let it all out, did we? Like the others did. Okay, so this is the sound that has been. Oh, this is interesting. So the gates are not of a room. Yeah, so obviously this is not a room, this is sort of like a path. Infinite paths. Okay, so this is the door that has been creating these things as well. The light flickerings. So okay, even the car sort of headlights are blinking. Like It's basically happening the whole freaking town then. Wait, so is this what they have been waiting for then? 19 minutes for 1970, 970. Wait, are the times of the time travel written here? Okay, this is very interesting now. Like, feels like suddenly out of nowhere there have been a lot of improvements. Sorry, lot of
Ist das Stück
whatever it is. I forgot.
Oder hast du deine Tochter von der Bühne geschleppt, um sie vor den kranken Menschen dieser Stadt zu retten? Wenn du es hier so wenig leiden kannst, warum haust du da nicht einfach ab?
Oh, dude, you. This is bad. What? You are the principal. You can't possibly be doing all these things, can you? I'm sorry, I hate violence. This is just rubbish. What the hell? And what the hell is this? Dude, no. Like, are you telling me that one is 1986 and the other is some other time? Surely not. Oh, I just realized this light is not blinking. And he's at the like epicenter of all these things. So surely that means that. Wait, so why is this light not blinking? Is it because this is a future sort of technology or? Okay, so now I'm interested to know whether this is 86 or some other time.
Habt ihr das gesehen? Das ist eure Mutter wirklich. Ulrich und du. Ihr habt einander wirklich verdient. Erzähl ihm von damals. Sag ihm, wie ihre Mutter wirklich ist.
Wait, what happened back then? Is he referring to the tree thing or something else happened? Oh, there's a song coming. Hate this. This happens. Yeah. Here we go. Wait, I'm sorry for pausing this because I actually have something to write down. I have to write down so that I can talk about this later. Jonas went through the Sic Mundus sort of gate, and there were three paths, right? And he took the right one, and let's see where he ends up. This whole tree thing, yeah. Yeah, I have to talk about that as well, obviously. No. Wait. Wait a second. Okay, so this light does not flicker, so that's sort of cool. Okay, so please tell us the time. What year are you in? Okay, you're in 86 then, surely. That's nice. Dude, what? Oh no. No, 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 no. You are not meeting your mother. Oh, dude, this is bad. Don't go with her. Don't go with her. Don't you dare go with her. Nice. Walk away. Walk away. Good boy. Good boy. Don't mess with time. This is bad. Oh, dude, this is what I was fearing. Like, this thought actually occurred to me, but I sort of got interrupted like once or twice in this episode by something else that happened when I was having the thought. Yeah, this can't be math, right? Or is it? I feel like this whole sort of setup has been about the fact that this dead body is of Mads, which would suck so bad. Oh, he is. He is Mads. He is Mads. There is a star in his chin, or on his chin. Fuck my English. Oh, boy. Like, I don't even know if I have to be sad about it. Dude, this episode is finished, right? I don't even know if I have to be sad about it or not because, yeah, like, obviously, the thing that kind of stuns me is that till now I've actually been thinking that Mads just went to the 50s, like Mikkel went to the 80s. But yeah, so obviously he did not go to the 50s. He was just kidnapped and killed, like Eric was. Oof. Yeah, now my mind is just blank now. For the last like 5-10 minutes, it was just outstanding. And yeah. I'm an idiot. I actually forgot this mute thing, but I don't think this sort of affected in this episode a lot. I feel like there was only like 2 or 3 minutes of the episode which would not have any sound, which is just fine. Yeah. So the thing is, I do have like few talking points, and I feel like this episode sort of went fast, and I sort of reacted very, very less because there weren't a lot of things that offended me, like from a sort of story point of view or anything like that. I felt like this was just a slow burn sort of episode, like sort of setting up stuff. And there were a couple of interesting things that happened, which just happened under the radar. They just sort of like went past it and nobody talked about it. So that's something that I do want to talk about. But yeah, the first thing I've written down is Sic Mundus Creatus Est. I don't know if that is Latin. It sounds Latin, kind of. I don't know. I don't know the language. That was what was written on the door. Like, does that have any meaning? Like, I don't know what it means. But the thing is, obviously, when Jonas opened the door, we saw the sound and then the door closed. So I'm guessing that's the sound that we have been listening to outside of the cave. And the lights blinking. So obviously the door is not opening up to the time machine room or the blue room. So I don't know where the blue room is now because I was sort of thinking, you know what, the blue room is sort of like the epicenter or the middle of everything. So door opens, you get a sound, lot of birds die, lights flicker, and that's the room you enter. But that's obviously not the case because we have 3 parts now. And if one part is 2019 and the other is 1986, I wonder if the third part is like, past, present, future, so 2052. I mean, that's kind of logical, right? So maybe there is somebody in here who has like traveled from 52 to here, like Mikkel did 19 to 86. Or maybe we don't have any like people from the future in this time. I don't know. That's a possibility. Like, have we seen anybody new come up? Like the stranger we saw, but the stranger is old. Like there is no way he got kidnapped or something like that. All of this has been happening to children. Uh, yeah, the Mikkel class photo. I wonder if that always existed, or was it something that just changed because of time travel? But that's sort of like hiding in plain sight, right? That's literally hiding in plain sight. And if people sort of paid attention to that photo, I'm so sorry. If people actually paid attention to that photo, then they would sort of recognize him. But why would you pay attention to a random photo that has always been there suddenly? Like, so I don't understand that. Excuse me. Uh, Regina cancer thing, yeah, that like I suspected in the third episode where they basically showed young Regina and old Regina. I don't know if her name is Regina or Regina. I'm gonna go with Regina now. So they showed both of them, and she was sort of feeling her breast, and I sort of thought that maybe there was a lump or something. So maybe that's she has breast cancer, and that is obviously going to change stuff in terms of how the characters are going to behave. Another thing that I did want to talk about was Regina getting tied up, and I actually did talk about it in the middle of the reaction. Regina getting tied up, like this episode kind of changes my whole perspective about Ulrich and Katharina. Like I never really sort of thought about this, but Katharina and Ulrich were just bullies, weren't they? I hate them now. I completely hate them. Like I kind of feel like they deserve what's going happening with them. Like I don't even feel bad about any of the things that have happened to them from their perspective. Like I just hate bullies, so sorry, but that's how I feel. Um, but I do feel for Martha, right? Martha, Magnus, even Bartosz to an extent, people like that, because yeah, this is just a difficult situation to be in at the first place. And talking of Martha, I loved the play. Like I don't know if I liked the play. I'm not a play person, but I loved the play in this episode, the way that they had made it. Like it almost felt like it was sort of like two scenes happening at the same time, right? They merged it together where they would like there'll be Martha talking her lines, and those lines would actually have a double meaning as to what is happening in the show or what is probably going to happen in the show or something like that. She was talking about a maze and how like there is a man and there's a beast. I forget what she said, but that sort of thing was pretty good. I felt like the first half of the episode was kind of dragging. The second half was just fantastic, and that play was a part of it. So yeah, just a second. I'll just tick mark the things that I have talked about so that I like can keep track of it. So obviously, I was talking about Regina getting tied up and how Madge was with her when he disappeared, and now we know that Madge is the person on the kid that got discovered in first episode. I mean, I don't know what to say about it, but like, I should have actually seen it coming because of the Mikkel thing in the last episode. I feel like there have been lots more hints about this than the Mikkel one. And yeah, that was kind of easy to guess once it was kind of like, once you know, it kind of is obvious because kid from 80s, and the only person who seems to have gone missing in 80s is Mads. I don't know if there's any other person. Till now, we haven't been told of that. Kid dressed in the 80s sort of dress, and there's obviously the like, yeah, but then we never really saw him again, did we? So I don't know. I don't know if there was any sort of obvious clues available. Uh, yeah, talking of like Ulrich and Psycho Hannah, we obviously saw much more things that the Psycho Hannah has done. Uh, the family tree is obviously effed up, right? Like, honestly. So Ulrich was having an affair with his daughter-in-law. Uh, I actually have a very different opinion on incest than other people have. It's not something that is obviously popular. My opinion is like a hot take, more like. The theory that not the theory, but the opinion that I have is basically that there are, in my opinion, two kinds of incest. One where you and your partner, the, the sibling of any kind, type one is basically where you both know each other from childhood and you know each other as siblings and you grow up as siblings and you then end up having a romantic entanglement, as I call it, with each other when you're older. That's the one kind of incest. The other kind of incest is where you have it in like Game of Thrones and in this show, and in very rare cases in real life, I don't even know anybody like that. I mean, I don't know anybody who is like that, but anyways, the point I'm trying to make is the second type of people are those that don't know that they are related and they sort of grow up as friends, or they meet and they meet as friends, and then they have that sort of physical intimacy, and then they find out that they are related to each other. I feel like type 1, I'm completely against, like most of the world is. I hope all of the world, but most of the world is. But this type 2 thing, I don't necessarily have a problem with, because, yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk about like blood relation and stuff, there's so many things that are blood related, and like, if you think about it effectively, the whole evolution thing had to have happened with like blood related people, like that's kind of obvious. And the whole reason people kind of gross out about incest is because they compare it with themselves. And when you think about incest, you think about incest with your sibling, and you're like, whoa, that's not happening. But if you look at it from the perspective of, let's say in this case, a Jonas and a Martha, they have grown up as friends. I mean, Martha for now doesn't even know that Mikkel is dead and that Jonas is Mikkel's son, and Mikkel was married to Hannah in 86 and the whole time travel thing. So, from her sort of perspective, he's just a friend. So I don't know if I feel offended. I don't feel offended. I don't feel like, oh, that's weird, please don't do it, sort of thing. I don't feel weird about it. That's my hot take. Like, I don't have a problem with it, because at the end of the day, it's all about your mental sort of feelings and sort of what you have inside your head. When it's a real sibling, there's a different sort of feeling. And when you have no idea that the person was a sibling or a relative or any of those kinds, this is the same reason I had no issues with Jon Snow and Daenerys, because they're absolutely two different people who have no idea that who had no idea that they were related, and they just met and they were friends. You could say that Queen sort of like whatever sort of relationship that they had before they did it. So yeah, it doesn't really matter in that case, in my opinion. So that's sort of my hot take. But this sort of screws up the family tree, and it's going to be interesting as to how much they screw up the family tree. Like, if you're going to be mental about this, you could absolutely do anything you want, with time travel and like family trees and stuff. So that's going to be interesting. The final and the most actually interesting thing from this episode is Charlotte's husband, Peter Doppler, and Tronta. Like, them two working together, like, I don't know what that was. Like, we obviously saw Peter was sort of like a suspect from Charlotte's point of view, and Tronta was a suspect from Ulrich's point of view in this episode. Uh, they had like this notebook with a lot of time written in it. And I'm guessing those are the times where time travel is going to happen through the cave. And they had this notebook. I don't know where they got this notebook from. And yeah, it was written 19 minutes for 9:17, and 9:17 was the time that Jonas sort of opened the gate and time traveled. So how do these two have this notebook? So do they know about time travel? Like, if they do, then does Tronta know that Mikkel is in 86 and that his son, Max is his son, right? So does he know that his son is in 2019 and he is dead? Like, his dead body is available. So that's very interesting for me. This kind of makes me sort of happy, you could say, in a way, because I just did not buy the fact that these two were involved in the kidnapping or any sort of involvement in the whole kids disappearing. And maybe they just stumbled upon it, the whole time travel thing, and maybe they just found a notebook out of nowhere. Maybe that's the like thing, or maybe somebody gave it to them, and that's how they are involved. Because I have complete faith in at least the psychiatrist guy that there is no way he's a bad guy. Tronta, maybe, but not with his grandkids. So I think that also rules him out. So it's going to be very interesting how this notebook is going to play out, because if it has time travel information in it, then it itself is probably a time travel sort of item. So when was it like written? Who wrote it? These are the sort of questions that are going to be very interesting. So yeah, so that's the end of this episode. I have like talked about it for a while now. Uh, this was a pretty good episode. I felt like this was a good. It felt like this episode had a very good second half, where, or the last quarter, you could say, where they just it was just brilliant. And I feel like the first three quarters were more like a setup for the future episodes and this episode. So it was sort of dragging, but that was fine. That was acceptable in my opinion. So yeah, so that's all for Dark Season 1 Episode 6, titled Sic Mundus Creatus Est. I have no idea when this will be going out. I hope by the end of this month. Just hope. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.